What's up, guys? And welcome back to the Blitz.
To the Blitz.
To the Blitz.
To the Blitz.
How did you guys like last week's episode?
Last week's
Brand new guest. I know. Super hype. Super exciting. Should we have her back on? You said no? Dang, man. Check her inbox.
That was like a reflex.
That's how many episodes in a row?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We've been doing a lot of inboxing.
You know.
You guys have been doing a wee bit of commenting.
Yeah, man. And honestly, man, it's all negative. Everything I see is just hurting my feelings. I think I need therapy.
What a quick entry into today's subject.
That was so corny.
That's right. Corn. Isaiah, tell me your thoughts about corn.
I hate corn. But that's not relevant.
We're not talking about corn. That was actually a diversion, a red herring, if you will.
Alrighty.
We're talking about therapy, as you can guess from the title, so I guess it wasn't a diversion at all. Welcome to this episode. I hope you are doing well. If you're doing an activity that's not driving or cleaning while you're listening to this, comment it on YouTube. I've said this before and nobody did, but I'm actually curious as to what people do while they listen to the podcast. One time, I listened back to an old episode while I was raking some leaves. Not leaves, but pine needles, because we live in North Carolina. Hallelujah!
You've doxed us.
Yes, sir. Come find me. Let's fight.
Fight.
Enter and fight. So, yeah. Greetings. Isaiah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, usually if I'm having a bad day, recording these episodes is pretty therapeutic.
Yeah. It's almost like therapy to me. You know what I'm saying? Is that a coincidence?
It's just very, it's very therapist.
What? You know, it's really therapeutical, the way that...
Anyway, it's therapeutic. Therapeutic.
Therapy.
For those who are wondering what the adjective of therapy is.
It's a hard speller, though. P-E-U-T-I-C.
Yeah,
P-U. All right.
Yeah, we're talking about therapy, but not about therapy
Necessarily.
but more about the recent rise in therapies and the number of people who are taking advantage of therapy or using therapy. I don't know, taking advantage, like not like you take advantage of it, but like, you know, you have something at your disposal and you want to use it. I almost made a big noise.
I want to shout out quickly one of the listeners, longtime listener and multi-time merch patron, whose name I will not use, but we could not remember this topic for our lives. And we were gathered for something at the church, and we're passively trying to just figure out what in the world we had talked about that we could later use as a topic. We had a conversation about it in the car, and then we're like, oh, that would be a good topic. Didn't write it down or anything. The day goes on, we could not remember this topic. But we're like, we're going to record tonight. What was the topic? And this person brought up trends, but he was talking about clothing and stuff and different trends that people do, because we were thinking of a totally new suggestion for a Blitz topic. And then we remembered that in our prior conversation that was in the car, we talked about how therapy is a recent trend, and it all came back. So thanks, sir.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. I hope you enjoyed your Easter egg in last week's episode intro.
Alrighty.
Speaking of Easter eggs in that intro, bro, there were two. That whole thing that we were doing was a reference, but we won't tell you what.
Speaking of Easter, does that happen soon? We're recording this episode well in advance, so it might be Easter time.
Honestly, Easter to me is like a form of therapy.
It's March 1st. Today is March 1st.
Okay, bro. Have you ever seen... Look, I know there are at least 2 people in the comments that are a fan of terrible jokes, or are fans of terrible jokes. So, you ever seen that meme where it's like, hey, can you tell me your birthday? Yeah, March 1st. And then the person starts marching, and he's like, okay, well, marching. Clap, clap, clap. Can you tell me your birthday now? That is hilarious. All right, guys, that's all we had. No, I'm just playing. But leave a like. I hope you're laughing because this guy across this table is not. Hallelujah. Ooh, yeah. All right, I'm going to stop hitting that. I got to save it. That's the heaviest sound I can make. He has pulled out his phone ominously. Who knows what he will do next?
I'm just making sure I have these posts that you have.
Oh, so now he's making sure that he has.
What? You sent a video?
Honestly, I can't even trust him. Do I have problems trusting people? I was going to make another therapy blast joke. And then you... Sorry, guys. I sent him something very dumb along with the things that were content for this episode. I apologize. Honestly, there are many things that are in the recording setting that you guys don't see that are hilarious while we're recording and pretending it's not hilarious. Like, for example, I talked on the last Blitz about a quote that's on the wall. Of course, we were recording this in the same night, and this quote is still on the wall. So shout out to my boy Mahatma.
Alrighty. So, therapy. You know about it. You know what it... You know what? Maybe you don't.
Ooh.
I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with the definition really quickly. What is therapy? Of course, Elijah typed something when he did that, so messed everything up.
Sorry about that.
Therapy is defined as treatment intended to relieve or heal a disorder. Now, obviously, therapy isn't necessarily mental, like physical therapy, and whatnot. But
that was actually a good inclusion. I forgot about physical therapy. Shout out to my physical therapy undergoers.
So treatment intended to relieve or heal a disorder is what therapy is. Now, therapy in terms of colloquial understanding. Also, someone made a point about me using the word colloquial. Look, man, there's no better word for colloquial. I don't
try to use a worse word though.
Common,
everyday
vernacular.
Nope, you lose.
Everyday language, everyday speech.
Yes,
but that's not what it is, man. It's not layman's terms. Colloquial means like it's societal. It's on a societal level.
Yeah, I guess it is not
There's
easy.
No better word.
But yes, on a societal level, in the way that society uses, interprets, introduces therapy,
is typically referring to going to see a therapist and talking about
some issues,
working out things that are pressing on your mind, etc. Now,
oh yeah, I got to stop. I'm done.
Going to therapy, obviously, it's been around for a long time. However, I feel that therapy has skyrocketed.
I just breathed in the mic hard. Go ahead though. It skyrocketed.
And one reason, probably,
don't go back to hear it.
Right. As to why this is the case is because, as you guys may recall, 4 years ago was the year 2020, and during this year was the pandemic. Everyone's favorite word.
Pandemic.
Anyway, people had to stay home. Yeah. So then, therapy went online for a lot of instances, and then it stayed that way. As you know, with practically everything else. You know, school went online. Church, some churches went online, or they have an online component to it now. Music festivals are in Fortnite now.
Where's this going, bro? Yeah, actually, our church services are now in Fortnite. Sorry about that.
I'm just saying they had a Fortnite. They have a few. They've had a few Fortnite concerts.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Fortnite being a video game where they're hosting real events in a digital space, which is interesting.
Lord
but
help us.
Yes, a lot of things went full digital in this year.
And fun fact, since those times when people realized the possibilities of online things like therapy, school, church services, Fortnite, they never, some things never came back to offline, or at least not fully. I go to school in person as a high school enrolled student, but I do all 100% of my work is on a laptop and turned in online. We have church services here physically. Most of the church services are live streamed and out there on YouTube somewhere. Some churches, they never got off of YouTube only, and people don't go to church no more. They just turn on the sermon and don't listen to it. Don't lie. I did online church for a second too. But anyway, Fortnite, they never went back to real life battle royale. So go ahead though, Isaiah, with that next point.
So obviously with a higher accessibility to therapy, more people are going to take advantage of that accessibility.
Right.
So if they feel as though they have issues that they can't work out, or they're like, man, something's just not clicking. A lot of people will try therapy. And then as people try therapy, they'll tell others around them, they'll tell their peers, their colleagues, their friends, you should try therapy. You should go to therapy. A lot of people say, you need therapy. Need therapy? Remember, therapy is for disorders.
Disorder.
Even, man, I had the definition up. Not the definition, but
Disorder.
I guess the question would be, when do you need therapy?
Right. So
And
here's the question.
So,
here's an online list.
am I doing that first? I was going to go.
There's not an online list until later, guys. All right? Get a grip. Unless it's now. I'm not actually sure what the plan is.
So some people, therapy is typically in relation to mental health.
Right.
And not mental health like staying positive. Mental health is as in you have mental illness.
Schizophrenia
Maybe, or bipolar disorder. Real things. Not
catatonic psychosis. All right. Go ahead.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, me neither, really.
Now, there is counseling. Obviously, everyone knows the word counseling. You go to get counseled. And sometimes, a lot of times when people are going to quote unquote therapy, it's just glorified counseling.
Got you.
Right. But therapy is very serious. Like I said, it's for disorders. It's for mental health illnesses, mental things of that nature. So obviously the barrier of entry to being a therapist is quite high. You need a lot of education and things of that nature. And usually when you are in a position that requires a lot of education, your salary is higher. You get paid more.
Yeah.
What that means is that therapy is expensive.
And it is lucrative from the other side.
Lucrative.
Now, before you get into this list, I wanted to mention also that with the rise in popularity of therapy, then, like you said, there must necessarily come the broadening of the term of what it's useful for. So it's not only for treating disorders. Now, the idea is that you don't have to be crazy to go to therapy. Don't feel bad about going to therapy, because only people who are messed up and crazy and have disorders go to therapy or whatever. Or on the other side of things, more things are being categorized as disorderly. So it's way more common now than it was 40 years ago for someone to have a diagnosis over the way that they process things in life. from a therapist.
This could be the advancing of medicine, the advancing of research, but in some cases, I'm not sure. And obviously, I'm not a doctor. And
how is that obvious?
It's true. It's not obvious. I'm not a doctor. And
what?
Some
My bad.
And some people like to take this issue of mental health and things of that nature, and somehow it becomes a political issue.
Yeah.
Look, bro, all I'm gonna say is sometimes people say you need therapy because often you feel anxious, or maybe you're feeling low or whatever. And if you're feeling anxious often and you're like, man, I'm suddenly starting to feel more anxious, maybe it's due to the circumstances that you're in. Now, is that to say that now that you've gotten to the root of the problem, you don't need therapy? I can't really say. Needing therapy just seems a bit dramatic to me. Now,
a personal input of mine. I know y'all love these. I'm not speaking on behalf of any creed or community that I'm a part of. However, personal opinion. Too often they will try to give you drugs for something that you don't need drugs for. I think like mental drugs are for like the serious illnesses. So you need to calm down when you are having a schizophrenic episode and you're, I don't know, starting to attack others or do other volatile and dangerous things. I think you might mess yourself up, man, taking drugs for something that is more minor. Not saying that your issue is invalid, but I'm saying that it needs to be dealt with seriously, but through another means that will actually help you. But that is my opinion. I'm not a doctor.
Word. So, I'm not going to say where this list is from, just because they're not a sponsor.
Yeah, send us money if you want.
I'm playing. So, this is what they say are some signs that you may need private therapy. I will read it out. If you find that you're experiencing repeated emotional problems that are interfering with your day-to-day life, it might be that you could benefit from going to therapy. You may be feeling anxious. You need therapy. Generally feeling overwhelmed with everything. You need therapy because of that. So, says this list. Overthinking and feeling as though you're unable to switch off from your thoughts. What does this mean exactly? Turn your brain off? You can't stop overthinking? Sure. You need therapy. You're feeling low and more tearful than usual. So, you're sad right now. You need therapy. You get angry more easily and you're struggling to regulate your emotions. You need therapy. Perchance you are sleeping more or less than usual.
Hold on now.
You need therapy. Maybe you're eating more or less than usual. You need therapy. Perchance you're avoiding socializing with other people, or you're uninterested in activities or hobbies you used to enjoy doing. You need therapy. Maybe you're struggling at work, university, or just general school. You need therapy. Maybe you're feeling hopeless and as though there's no way out. In this instance, I would say you would probably benefit from therapy. Maybe you're using substances such as drugs or alcohol to help you get through the day. Then yes, it would be a good idea to talk to a licensed professional to work through that. Or especially if you're ever having thoughts of harming yourself or feeling as though you don't want to be alive anymore, that is definitely a case in which you should speak to a professional, speak to somebody, and get that sorted out. Now, the last three, I would say those are real. And the other ones, it's, case by case. But in a lot of these instances, it's like, do you need therapy? Like, I'm sleeping more or less than usual. I should go to a therapist?
Yeah, I'll be at the therapist every weekend.
Like, I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. You know what I mean? And therapy, again, is not cheap. Some therapy can range from $65 to $250 per hour.
Golly, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to be crazy.
And it's weekly.
I mean, you don't have to be crazy to get there. Oh, I fooled myself. But yes. Y'all, be honest with yourselves, listeners. According to that list, y'all need to enroll 6 different times at least in therapy. So you better start stacking your cash.
All right. So the question is obviously, is therapy, all this, you need therapy for all of these things, is it now trendy to go to therapy?
Yeah.
And why do some people go to therapy? Is it because they don't have a strong support system at home? Maybe. But as some people have said, apparently that's not the same thing.
Now, this is via a post from Instagram, which is a subject I want to talk. I'm always talking about Instagram, bro. That's the social media I know about.
I know. We talked about it in the last episode extensively.
Yep.
But yes. Okay. So I can't say who this is from, man.
From an account.
It's from an account. It's just interesting because their names are Doctor.
Oh Lord. They're trying to swoon you, make you swoon. They're trying to sway you with their credibility.
Talking to a friend isn't therapy. Loved ones are part of our support system, but they're not our therapists. You can have a great support system and still need therapy.
You heard it here, folks.
Now, again, look, just to make a statement here.
Yeah.
We are not advocating against therapy.
Why?
We're not saying, huh?
I said word.
Oh, I thought you said why. We don't think therapy is necessarily a bad thing. I don't see how it could. It depends. If they're diagnosing you and prescribing you things, you don't have to take them. You don't have to. I don't know. That's up to your discretion. But like in terms of talking things out with a licensed professional who has studied psychiatry, I mean, they studied your brain, man. They probably know some things. I'm not going to say, yeah, the education is fake.
Yeah.
What am I in school for if I don't believe in it? So
make that money. That's why.
Alrighty.
That's at least 25% of the reason. 50, 75. Anybody's in school, just saying. But anyway, go ahead.
To get a career. That's true. But in this instance, it's like, so they're saying that even if you have a strong support system at home, you have people that you can talk to, you have friends that you can talk to, you have a pastor that you can talk to, that's not enough. You need to go to a licensed professional in order to speak through some things. Now, obviously, in some cases, that's true. But again, maybe with mental illness,
right,
or something that either is too personal to share with people that you know that are close to you, or is just out of the range or out of their league, essentially, where you need someone who is a licensed professional. However, I don't think therapy is an alternative to talking out your problems with your family members or with your friends. Right. That's no.
And to me, I think there's two sides to this coin. I think one side is, like you said, that so Isaiah is doing a gesture of dramatically flipping a coin, not even flip, like he's, oh my gosh, oscillating from left to right, like he's in the Japanese anime.
All right.
Anyway, my bad, Joe.
In life.
So, but one side is that obviously there are conditions that people can have that experts are aware of their symptoms, and experts are aware of chemical treatments for them or otherwise specialized treatments that can deal with them. And so your best friend won't be qualified to deal with your schizophrenia.
Real spiel.
That's for some of y'all. No, I'm just playing. But Adversely, I think it's kind of like if Pizza Hut was the first company to make pizza and they were like, listen, the dinner your mom cooks is not a substitute for Pizza Hut pizza, all right? I know it tastes great, and I know you're probably great at cooking yourself, and you love to eat at McDonald's, and you love to, but look, you need Pizza Hut because you're not going to be all right without it. Because they got to make money somehow. That's just the way things are, and they want you or whatever. But that doesn't mean you have to get Pizza Hut if you're not in a literal need of Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Another thing about this, not just therapy in general, because therapy on its own is fine, but this culture of therapy has made a lot of people, it's mental health, it's self-help. You go, you talk through your issues with a licensed professional, but it's you and that professional. And that's it. And it's all about you. It's all about making yourself better. It's all about talking through your issues with someone who doesn't know you. Right. I mean, they'll get to know you. That's usually you have a therapist and that's your therapist, so they get to know you. But
they don't have an outside view into your situation. They have what you tell them.
Correct. So a lot of times therapy can become a solo dolo endeavor where, like we said before, when they say talking to your friends isn't a substitute for therapy, sometimes you take that and then now the culture would be, you take all your problems to therapy and then you never, all that negative stuff, that negativity, that's for me. I'll take it to my therapist. We're not going to talk about it.
Right.
I'm a better myself. You should go to therapy, talk about your issues. We're never going to talk to each other about problems, things of that nature. Elijah has a post here that he sent.
I sent it to him because my phone is going to die. It's actually still alive, but my brightness is horrendously low because it's going to die.
Yeah. I mean,
hey,
plug it in.
He's just offered me the holy elixir known as a charger.
So this one says, this account is a safe space to decide what is right for you based on what you want and need. The yous are italicized. I'm not emphasizing that to make a point. They emphasized it. After all, that is what self-restoration is all about. I want to empower you to make all decisions, big and small, from a place of clarity, confidence, and self-respect.
Yes. Now, I want all of you to hold that thought. Backtrack to when I was talking about how with the pandemic, many things were brought online and whatever, and many things didn't fully come back to being in person. Now, with the pandemic and also the general modernization of technology and culture and society in developed countries, many things have gone online. Many things have become electronic. And I know there are many boomer jokes about it and whatever. But basically, and I was reading when we were going into the details about making this episode, I was reading and I saw this point described by someone on Reddit who referenced a New York Times article. And I'm putting all those things together to tell you this. As people started to get into social media platforms and things like that, sharing things and communicating in that way, playing video games with each other to hang out and do other fun and useful stuff like that, they have also begun, how do you say that?
They've
begun, yep, also to start to slow down on things like interpersonal interactions and, staying with your community and stuff, just talking to the people who are right next to you and see you all the time, whether you want to be seen or not. And on top of that, the article from the New York Times was talking about, also, bro, I took a bunch of screenshots of the article because it was like, you need to subscribe and blurt it out. So then I reloaded it and I just went crazy. Anyway, I'm proud of myself for stealing. Yep. Anyway, the article was talking about how also with the modernization of culture has gone away a lot of spirituality in the terms of traditional spirituality, which involves religious beliefs that involve you submitting to something. There are still a lot of spiritual ideas out there, but they're more like Isaiah was talking about, keeping the negative energy away from me and just manifesting the positive, whatever that may mean. So I say all of this to say, and the article said all of this to say, that the focus, because of these technological advancements in society, has become upon me, myself, and I, as far as wellness and care and therapy. And so, like we may have mentioned, totally did mention before, you can go to therapy and you can go to your therapist with your issues, and it's just you and them talking. You're not talking to a person next to you. You're not talking to someone who necessarily knows the situation. And you say, my wife has just not been giving me what I deserve or whatever. And then
I'm talking about this, last week?
Yeah, with Josh Denke, which is my boy sometimes. But real ones know the origin of Josh Denke.
I know.
And his worst enemy sticks. But oftentimes, because of the nature of the relationship between you and your therapist, you could get told what you want to hear or what will calm you down, or just be told what is to the best of the knowledge and ability of the therapist. Wait, did I say that right? To the best of the therapist's knowledge and ability, they give you an answer because of what you gave them, and that's all they can do. And sometimes that won't be the best answer. Again, I'm not advocating against therapy, but with this whole self-interested move of society, it can pose a danger to people who want to be affirmed rather than counseled. And we talked about that also in the last episode, I think.
Yes, we did.
Number 51.
51. But, yeah. That's our spiel on therapy.
Therapeutic experiences.
Not therapy as a whole, We do, therapy is definitely valid in its uses, but it's not always applicable. Or sometimes you may think that you need it when really what you need is some friends, bro.
Yep.
And that's, that's the heart of it. So some real friends. I'm not saying I'm not making fun of you.
Facts.
Go get some friends. I'm saying you need some people that'll really speak to you, deal with the issues, people that you can connect with on a deeper level than you can with a therapist.
We need a friendship re-up episode. Yep. Coming one day. I was going to say coming soon. It could come 2027. Don't y'all worry about it.
Alrighty. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully, maybe you guys had a negative outlook on therapy, or maybe you go to therapy every week. What are the benefits of you going to therapy every week? We're not trying to get you to stop going, but if you go to therapy, what's it like? What are some things we missed? And for those who don't go to therapy or think negatively of therapy, why is that? Let us know. Basically, start a conversation in the comments. But yeah, that's us. We love you guys. And
very much.
We'll catch y'all.
Like a whole lot. Sorry, Isaiah. Side note about he was about to mute me, y'all. The end of the therapy list, that stuff is real, man. Feeling like you're out of place, or like you don't belong. And I know I talked about how culture and society are becoming selfish, but feeling like a victim of the things going on around you in life sometimes is just a reality of your emotions.
Yeah.
And regardless of what your plan is to figure it out, or whether the circumstances around you change, it's important to know that you're loved and cared for, and there's at least someone that you can reach out to in your life that will be there for you, man. So,
for sure.
Yeah, Isaiah just pointed to the sky because as the running joke goes, God is in the ceiling tiles. Not literally, bro, but, you know, he's there, man.
Yeah, God is there for you. We have a whole episode. It's a Blitz called Be Selfish. Sometimes, man, you do got to take care of yourself, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, be selfish is an exaggeration, but
it's clickbait.
You know, make sure that you're watching out for yourself. But yeah, with that, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.